And humans are the same. Except we call that light hope. Try and stop me!
I've taken some time to reflect on this. If I had to guess, Professor Cyno is a stubborn man who tends to double down when he feels strongly about something.
I agree. My master Nephis says the same thing. Once...
So that's one thing. A few other things come to mind too. You've heard all you need to hear about the Temple of Silence. My own memories of this place are hazy though. Probably something to do with the overpowering presence of the Ba fragments. I do remember having some fleeting moments of profound emotion when vague images would appear in my mind. I was still young then, and all I could understand was that there was a strong will inside my mind. Thinking back on it now, the power that came to inhabit my spirit was probably one of the cornerstones of their whole faith. So if the will and might of Hermanubis is a real, intangible...
You're not gonna give in to their demands, are you? Surely there has to be another way!
No. I have no intention of returning it. I need this power to protect Sumeru. So I will challenge them head-on, and win the right to wield this power for myself.
This reminds me of something Alhaitham mentioned to me just before we left. He said that the Temple of Silence was originally founded by the ruling elite of the day. Kaveh has made similar observations about the desert tribes from his work trips there. He says many of them have their own internal rules. I think we could turn that to our advantage. Go back to them with a proposal of our own.
Wow, and just like that, we've turned the...
Looks like we have the same idea. Turn it back on them now while we still can, in terms that they cannot refuse.
Great. And I know just how to start the conversation. Let's go find Sethos. We'll tell him that I know a thing or two about medicine.
Full throttle! Take me up! Rev the engines!
Sethos.
Have you made up your mind?
We'll get to that, but first, I have some degree of medical training, so...
I have no objections, although we do have our own doctors here. Well, follow me. Keep your voices down.
Let's talk out. Bamoon has fallen into a deep coma, and his prognosis is quite grave. He appears to have sustained a serious injury in his youth, which has been exacerbated. Regretfully, I must inform you that, based...
Yeah. I've known for a long time.
You're his heir, aren't you? You clearly have a lot of respect for the man. But you also see things differently. So tell me how we can end this on your terms. Let's find a way to bring all this to a resolution while Bamoon is still alive to see it.
Yeah, there's no time to waste here.
You know, the two of you are actually in a very similar predicament right now. Both of you have a very different
Right. And you didn't create this situation. They did, but somehow you've ended up having to...
You're right. We both look at this problem very differently. I accept, Cyno. This all began because of Hermanubis. Legend has it that when Hermanubis first arrived in Tuletula, he sparred with the city's residents. That group of supporters were some of the first...
Sounds very fitting.
As a fellow vessel of Hermanubis, your ties to the Temple of Silence run deep.
3 against 3. Sounds good.
However, I have some additional terms. As the challengers, You must win all Letting Cyrus leave with one of the Ba fragments was a mistake. Made by my grandfather out of pity.
None needed. If I win, the Temple of Silence must release Cyrus. If you win, I'll return my power to you.
It's a deal. Then let's meet at the
Let's fly.
Well, after how that
There never was. Turning back hasn't been an option for me.
You have to win. You need this power.
Yeah, that's right. Besides, it stayed with you ever since you were a small child.
Both as general... Yeah. When you put it that way. I've had to overcome a lot to tame this power and claim it for myself.
Exactly.
The Traveler and I...
And neither. The desert was home to an ancient and great civilization that for a variety of reasons. But there must be personal factors at work here too. I can't shake the feeling that Ba-Moon cares for many more things than he lets on. To...
Try and stop me!
Let's fly.
We gather on this day to perform once more the rite of duels, with the greatest of all sages, Lord Hermanubis, as our witness. This is our most sacred of ceremonies, representing the Temple of Silence, the Defender.
Grandfather, you're here.
A rite of duels after all these years.
I know what I'm doing, Grandfather.
Representing the Academia, the Challenger.
Ready. We will fight to have our voices heard.
Warriors, take your positions and decide on the order of battle. We come not to debate what brings our challengers here, nor what will become of the defeated duelists.
Huh? Are you sure?
I agree. She's very strong. Sending her out first will definitely intimidate the opposing...
Okay, then you're second.
Sure.
We have decided.
So have we.
Duelists of the first bout, please step forward.
Don't forget, safety first. Hey, you there! You better play nice with her. Paimon will make you regret it.
Little bit too much chatter from the audience over there.
Hey! Propagate!
A swift end to the first bout. I now invite the duelists of the second bout to plead. When you're both ready, you may begin.
Let's begin.
Watch out!
Go, Cyno, go!
He drank plenty of water before the battle, so he should be fine.
Let's nip that in the bud.
Thus ends the second bout.
I'm ready.
So am I.
This is the final stage of the rite. I remind you both that the terms you agreed upon in advance are bind. When you're both ready, You may begin.
I am Sethos, vessel of Hermanubis. For many years, we have kept our covenant with Lord Hermanubis by guarding the secrets of King Deshret. We earnestly sought Lord Hermanubis' wisdom and power, longing to see his spirit. And now, I will fight to become the rightful wielder of that power!
I am Cyno, General Mahamatra of the Academia, student and successor of Cyrus, the Sage of Spontamod. I fight in defense of my power, my professor, and my nation. And you. I think you left some things unsaid. This is a sacred duel, and Hermanubis is watching. So bare your soul.
Everyone, old and young, fit, and my grandfather is a wise leader. He is also known to be a ruler who is not afraid to get blood on his hands. But our faith has held us back for too long. Times have changed. The people of Sumeru are happier and more free now than in the past. Then I thought of you, Cyno. You and I both wield the same power. Each Ba fragment of Hermanubis stands for something different. Might. Glory. I once thought that the nature of our fragments must be what makes us so different from one another.
I am more than just a warrior. I am my own person.
Exactly.
The name Hermanubis has left its mark on both of us. So show me your answer, Cyno. Show me I can be more than my faith. More than the power I wield. Bring it on!
That's all you've got? What happened to searching for your answer?
Fight's over. Do you yield?
You won.
Well then, looks like you found your answer.
I give his glory to you.
I've seen that light. That is the light of our Lord, the great Hermanubis, priest over all other priests. His spirit dwells within that lightning, and his will lives on. Once a warrior of Tynar, he emerged from the barren desert sands to serve the god king Al-Ahmar. After the death of the god king, Hermanubis gathered his followers and the Tainarian priests and led them to the city of Tule-Tula. There, they founded the Temple of Silence, and from that day forth, we became stewards of all knowledge that survived from King Deshret's civilization. Barely a century passed before war ravaged the desert. One by one, Eremite leaders took up arms against each other in battles that would devour what little remained of their civilization. Only the wise city of Tule-Tula was spared under the guiding hand of the Tainarians. But peace did not last. Coveting the knowledge of King Deshret, the beasts set their eyes on Tule-Tula. The king of Gurabad laid siege to the city and ordered the sages to surrender to him the Temple of Silence as proof of his victory. The ruling elite colluded with their oppressors, betraying the temple so as to hold on to their rule over the city. They declared that the knowledge guarded by the temple was the true cause of corruption. These were dark days, and we faced enemies on all sides. Our Lord had long since exhausted his strength, keeping the forbidden knowledge introduced by King Deshret at bay. To ensure the temple's continued survival, he broke his being into many pieces and began the ceremony of Hermanubis' legacy, bestowing his power upon his mortal followers. With this power, the temple was able to defeat the tyrant's army. Yet, we were not hailed as heroes. Strange and unfamiliar as this power was, it struck fear into the people's hearts and drove them to reject us. In the end, the people of the temple and the Tule-Tula Tainarians left the city for good and made their way to the rainforest. What followed next was inevitable. The elite of Tule-Tula fell and were decimated. War engulfed the desert. And we wandered from place to place, always in hiding, all the while keeping close watch over our secrets and staying true to our mission. Betrayal forced us out of the desert and into the forest. Then mistrust drove us from the forest into the desert once more. We have lived in exile for far, far too long. Yet, today, the Temple of Silence has borne witness to the glory of Hermanubis once more. Thank you.
How is it? Do you feel okay?
Grandfather.
Hey, Sethos. You'll get through this.
I know.
I guess you were prepared for this. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, he's been on death's door for a very long time now. At least, he was able to see this chapter come to a close.
What's next for you?
Per my grandfather's last wishes, the Temple of Silence should submit to whoever possesses the largest number of Hermanubis fragments.
But that's never going to work. As I'm sure I did foresee this possibility, and I gave it some thought. The fact is, I know next to nothing about the staff, records, and environment here. Sethos. Were it not for this duel, or indeed if you had other intentions, the Ba fragments would most likely be in your hands by now. I'm sure Bamoon... I do.
Still, I didn't think Bamoon looked very surprised by the final result.
Well, in any case, since the Ba fragments are with me now, Sethos, I would like you to succeed Bamoon as the new leader of the Temple of Silence. You are more suited to the
But doesn't that render everything that we...
No, it doesn't. This experience has allowed us to become friends, which means that's a much bigger deal than you might think, Sethos. You said yourself.
I will try.
Actually, part of me wonders whether Bamoon's intentions from the very beginning was just to create enough pressure to force us towards a duel. That way, no matter who won, one of us would have to surrender our Ba fragment. Had you won, the Temple of Silence would have doubled its strength. And were I to win, he correctly anticipated that I wouldn't suddenly drop everything to become the leader of the temple, much less integrate the temple into the academy. He knew that the temple's future would depend not just on the guidance of Hermanubis, but the support of the academia too. His plan meant that whoever ended up succeeding him, they would have an
And here I thought the General Mahamatra wouldn't care for all these trivial details. You're absolutely right. Grandfather and I considered this from every angle. We had to find a way to mend our relationship with the academia. Thank you for everything, Cyno. The Temple of Silence has a wealth of information on King Deshret's civilization, but you must be exceedingly careful with your selection of candidates. By the way, Tainari, my grandfather was so happy to see you. You are a descendant of the Veluca Shuna. The story goes that King Deshret chose the sage Hermanubis. From among, he went on to fight many valiant battles with his Tainarian companion. The Tainarians who left Tuletula joined their human in all likelihood.
How fascinating. My father once mentioned that I was named after the Tainarians, but
I like this.
By the way, has it...
Yes. Cyrus. You'll probably find him in my grandfather's room. He wouldn't show it in front of...
if it's true that you and your grandfather really planned for everything to turn out this way...
Who knows?
Someone's got to make the decisions when I will make a detailed report on all of this to Lesser Lord Kusanali. I'm sure you'll have lots to attend to in the days ahead. If we're going to work together, both sides have to get to know one another better.
I will. All right. Well, bye for now, everyone.
See you soon. Come hang out with us anytime.
Giddy up! Rev the engines! Ha!
What were you thinking, gallivanting?
Oh, please, will you stop your yelling?
What do you mean, what other choice? A one-man suicide mission, hmm? That's the best idea that
All right, all right. Honestly, the way you're going off on me, it's like you wish you'd been there to lend him a hand.
I've got nothing.
What do you mean, bag of bones? Okay, look. Fine, I admit it, I was in the wrong.
1 month.
Tainari's master is really laying into Cyrus.
Professor brought this on him.
Wow, I haven't... The last time he chewed someone out like this must have been back when I was...
I think I'll go around and update everyone. Tell them that we can go for dinner after.
Makes sense. I'm in.
Paimon's coming too. Let's
Hey, Kale.
You're back! Well, look who we have here. Would you mind explaining to me what has been going on?
All taken care of.
That does not answer my question. How could you be— When you run into problems, you really ought to ask for help, you know?
Now would not be a good time to attempt to argue with...
You're right.
Mm-hmm. It's not the first time that I've had to talk to you about this sort of thing either. You need to learn that there are times when the right thing to do is get a more experienced member of staff involved.
Kale, please do something.
He's giving me the signal. All right. Say, Madam Farazan, I can see you're pretty upset, but, Huh? Wait, did I hear that right? Kale, you remember? Wonderful. Well, of course the offer still stands. Come on. Poor Kale getting dragged off like that. Also, check out Farazan acting like some—
Kale! Cup.
Huh? What? Oh! What do you mean, cup? Oh, it's nothing. Just Master's way of reminding me to stay hydrated while I'm out and about.
It's code for let's reconvene at the cafe. Tainari and I used it while we were in school, and it's become something of a family tradition now.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. 2 people left. Let's bring them along.
Let's fly.
Try and stop me!
Am I hallucinating? Or do I see Kaveh and Alhaitham engaged in...
We're just reorganizing all the books we used. Look.
There's no rush. Nobody reads these books anyway.
My sincere thanks to you both.
Yes, with your help.
I see. The Temple of Silence resorted to rather unique means.
And it sounds like they managed to preserve a whole load of ancient documents as well.
That day will come. The Temple of Silence is a hugely important organization. And now, as a token of my appreciation...
Yeah, sounds great. Although after the last few days...
Sure.
And then, the Traveler just pounced on their opponent, and then there was Tainari. He put up an amazing fight, too. We ended up winning all 3 bouts. Whoa. Part of me wishes I'd been there to see it, but...
A truly edifying account of the events. Bereft of detail.
Hey, Paimon included all the juicy details. The Traveler just pounced, and then waved their sword like this, then spun around.
Despite winning 3 bouts in a row, you still ceded the position of leader to him. That's very dignified of you, Cyno.
Of course. Being dignified comes with being a true champion.
I got to be a champion too for once. I've not sparred much with desert folk before. It was...
Yeah! Huge place! It felt like something right out of an epic poem! Imagine this. It was like there was...
Maybe save that one for later, Paimon. Dessert's here.
I think that'll do me for today.
Shall we stop off at the House of Dana again before heading home?
My thoughts exactly. See you around.
I should get going as well. See you all later.
I need to go say thanks to the Core 30 for their help. Also, Sir Nephis says he wanted to introduce me to some of the Academia's work processes.
Kale's come a long way. She's much more confident at dealing with other people these days.
Everyone's a work in progress. You never stop.
Yeah, true.
It feels like everything's finally wrapped up now. Life is all about these moments when you can finally relax and hang out with good friends after a job well done.
Do you three have anything planned for the rest of the day? If not, would you come somewhere with me? That's a secret for now.
Okay. I think I can guess what you're talking about.
Well, now Paimon's
Rev the engines!
Been a while since I last made my...
Wow.
Need any help?
It's a nice spot, isn't it?
What a great view! We're so high up, we can see for miles!
Traveler, turn around. This is my secret base. Somewhere I only bring my best friends. When I was a student, I used to slip away and climb up here all the time, just to clear my head. Back then, I had a lot of the same questions that Sethos was asking. Our gifts help us to find our rightful place in the world.
You two really are like brothers.
I feel the same way. Of course.
I still remember one time when we came up here to chat and do our homework. Cyno accidentally dropped a fruit. Luckily...
That was the one and only time. Nothing will ever slip through my...
Those were good times.
You know, Paimon really shouldn't be able to imagine Cyno doing something like that, but for some strange reason, the mental image is coming through clear as day.
Then make it stop. There's somebody there. It's Professor Cyno. You guys carry on without me.
Okay.
Huh? Hey, you're not supposed...
Oh my days.
Professor, what are you muttering to yourself?
Cyno, just the man I'm looking for. Guess what?
Some old photos?
Can you believe it? This notebook was just sitting in a pile of odds and ends in the Sage's office. I was at the Academia earlier to discuss my workload with Nephis. Oh, time flies. Look how tiny you are in this.
You look quite young yourself in that one. Ah, it's this one.
Yep, looks like her work all right. Who else could have found just the right angle to make me...
And this one. Looks like we're both dozing.
Oh, cheeky girl.
Is there something you'd like to say to me, Professor?
Like what? Like... hey, at moments like this, I can't pretend I'm a good person. Bamoon had every reason to despise me.
Don't be ridiculous, you old codger.
Oh, I've dreamt of that place many times after leaving the desert. Sometimes I've dreamed that, it was one of the happiest times of my life. You've matured so much over the years, Cyno.
Since you're my professor, I should save you some face by not calling you out on all the non-answers you just gave.
Good thinking. Take your own advice next time. Seriously, why bully an old man like me? Hey, wait, how did I not notice this one earlier?
Lisa strikes again. Just how many did she take?
Look how cute you were when you were little. I remember how well-mannered you were back then, too.
Yeah, and look how serious and professional you used to be.
Oh, I can't compete with you anymore. First you get better than me at the deadpan jokes, and now...
Don't say that.
That's Hey, what would you...
I'd like that. Let's find a time and pay her a visit in Mondstadt.
All right, I'll add it to my schedule. Wait, no. Next week is the tomato growing competition. I have got to beat Zaha Hadi.
Or you could find a real hobby, Professor.